it wild how most of us will just go through our lives just constantly rushing from one goal to the next, to the next, to the next. That's literally what gets drilled into us constantly in society, that we have to rush to all these goals that we're setting, and then we have to set new goals, and we can never just sit still and enjoy the present moment and appreciate it for what it is. It's almost become like that is our whole point of existence, to just set all these goals, and then if we don't have all these goals, it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing with your life then? At what point did we become so obsessed with goals and being so goal orientated that we literally forgot the whole meaning of life? I think this is why a lot of people lack gratitude as well, because why should we have gratitude for the current moment if we're just in these goal achieving mindsets? Why would we have gratitude? Like, we don't have time to have gratitude. We're constantly doing something. We're constantly trying to work towards something different. We're waiting to achieve our goal so that we can be happy, but we're just gonna keep reaching our goals, and then we'll maybe be a little bit happy, and then it's like, what next? We'll just set another goal, and then it's like, we can't be happy until we've reached that goal. It's just a constant cycle, and it makes you feel like life is just so overwhelming and so fast-paced, when it really doesn't need to be that way. I've really noticed that this became like such a common theme in not just like goal setting, but it became a theme in life in general. I would rush everything, even from getting ready to go out for a meal or to go out for Sunday lunch or something like that. I would just rush it. I'd be rushing to get ready, and then I'd be getting stressed because I was thinking, oh my god, I'm not ready, my boyfriend's gonna be so angry at me, oh my god, and like just going off on this crazy spiral. And for what reason? I know my boyfriend is a chill guy. I know that he's actually not that bothered. I know that it's not a matter of life or death. I know that I'm gonna make it to the meal eventually, even if we are a little bit late. I'm gonna make it to the meal. So why am I rushing? Why am I getting so stressed out about it? And I know you're thinking, right, maybe you should set more time for yourself to get ready. And honestly, I've thought that too. That's crossed my mind, and I probably should give myself more time to get ready, and I probably wouldn't rush. That is a solution. But I do think it's a lot more deep rooted than that. I think there's a lot more things going on beneath the surface that contribute to that. And I was thinking about, I was like doing inner child healing. That's all I seem to be doing at the minute, but I'm on this journey, you know, I'm having to like unpack a lot of things, and I realized that the reason that I probably rush a lot of things is, for one, society in general, and two, I was always rushed as a child. My parents would constantly rush me in every single situation, and I could never relax. I never had that sense of peace or that sense of like, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter if we're a couple of minutes late. No, like, we had to be early. We couldn't be on time. We had to be early. We had to be half an hour early. It was ridiculous. It was just so stressful. And I remember I got to a point like when I was a teenager, and I would say like, please can you just tell me the exact time that you want me to be ready, rather than telling me the time that we're going out but then making it so it's half an hour earlier anyway. Like, that's too stressful, and no one would ever be able to do that for me. So I feel like I was just constantly living this life of stress. Like, I was constantly rushing every single thing, and it really seeped into my adult life. And up until last year, I was still thinking like, oh my god. And even sometimes now, I'll find myself rushing. When I take a step back, I just think, why am I rushing? Like, what is making me rush? I'm literally not being chased by saber-toothed tigers, so why am I acting like that? Why does my body feel like it's literally being chased? Also, the messaging in society is just completely in favor of that mindset, of that rushing mindset. Society wants us to be so productive. It wants us to be the most productive that we can possibly be, and it doesn't consider the effects that that has on the actual human mind and body. We are not equipped for the modern world, and I'm slowly starting to realize that now, just from like cutting out social media and really slowing down my life and then observing the world as it is. And obviously all my friends and all my family is still in that mode of watching the news and being on social media. I'm not saying that I'm never going to go back to that, but when you're seeing it from an outsider perspective, I guess, you really see just like how stressed other people are, and then I'm just sat here chilling, and then other people around me are so stressed, and I'm thinking, why? Why are you so stressed? But then, like, I know why they're stressed, but I just think, oh, it's so easy to like not be that stressed. Obviously, everything is not that simple, and people have their own stories and their own things going on and reasons for needing to consume all these things. I think we generally, as a society, we have just gotten dependent on stimulus and dependent on the news and hearing all these horrible stories about things that have happened. Like, we thrive. We don't even realize it, but we thrive off bad news. We thrive off gossip. We thrive off productivity. We thrive off rushing, and we don't realize that we're thriving. Well, I say thriving. It satiates a need that we have, but we're not necessarily thriving. Like, I don't think we're thriving. Anyway, I'm getting too worked up. I'm getting too excited. Do you see what I mean? Like, I genuinely don't need social media. I don't need things to stimulate my brain even more, because this brain is just constantly on one. So yeah, I just wanted to come on and just film this like video and just say that you don't need to rush. If you're in a similar boat that I was in, or you've been raised in a similar way to what I just mentioned earlier, you don't actually need to rush, and everything will work out just fine if you just have a bit of patience and you just trust the universe and what the universe has got in store for you. Because I think we're all trying to like manifest, we're all trying to manifest our dream lives and the things that we want, but the universe is not going to respond well to this energy of impatience, this energy of desperation. The universe is going to be thinking like, whoa, slow your roll. The universe wants us to expand our minds and become the best version of ourselves. So you're going to feel a lot of resistance if you're still like rushing through things and you're overstimulated all the time and you're just in panic mode constantly. Your cortisol levels are just through the roof. You're not going to be able to pull in the things that you want to pull in effortlessly. Everything is going to seem so much harder than it needs to be. And also, I do think that the universe wants us to develop that skill of patience and gratitude and just appreciating the moment that we're actually in. And if you're feeling a lot of resistance, it's just something to think about. Like, maybe you are not being present, maybe you're not appreciating life as it is right now. If this is something that you're struggling with, like not being able to bring in, sorry, my voice is so croaky, you're not being able to bring in your manifestations and the things that you want to bring in, you're feeling a lot of resistance and blockages, you've got to really ask yourself, do you have the faith and the belief and the passion that it takes to reach this thing? And if all those things are ticked, obviously you need to go back and do like the deeper work and work through all the blockages. But I do think knowing that if you have faith, if you have belief, if you have passion, that of course you're going to reach your goals. Why would you not reach your goals if you have those things? This has always been my mindset on like every goal that I've set, and every goal that I've set, I've pretty much achieved. So it's just having that trust in the universe and having trust in yourself. And even if you're not into all like the woo-woo stuff and you're not into manifestation, you don't really get it, I think if you just think of it from a logical perspective, it makes sense. If you're putting the time in, if you're putting the effort in, if you're putting the love and consistency in, then of course eventually you're gonna get what you want to get. You're gonna bring that thing in. So why are you rushing? You don't need to rush. And I get it. I honestly get it so much. I get it probably more than most, because I think I'm like genuinely wired to be rushed. That's how I've been brought up. That's how I have kind of survived just rushing through life. But it doesn't need to be that way. And I think becoming an adult is so amazing in so many ways, because you realise that a lot of the things that you were taught when you was a kid, you really don't need to take that on as your truth anymore, or take that on as your path. Another thing, and I know I've mentioned it already, and I mention it all the time, but I genuinely think getting off social media is like a blessing. It is truly a blessing, because you get all this time and it's like, oh my god, I've got all this time to play with. You might be bored. Like, I filmed a video on boredom as well, and like how boredom's amazing, but it's amazing to be bored. It really is. Like, you'll have all this time on your hands to work on your craft, work on yourself, and do just nice slow things. I also think if you're on social media, you are going to be constantly comparing yourself to other people's timeline. No matter what, you're always going to be comparing yourself. Even if you're not like that, you're always going to be comparing yourself to other people when you're literally having their lives rubbed in your face, and all of the things that are going right in their life and all the things that they've manifested and brought in, and they might be younger than you, and it might be making you think, oh my god, I am so behind in life. But you don't need to be exposed to that. You have the choice of whether or not you're going to be exposed to that or not. And I'm in my era of just not vibing with social media. Obviously YouTube is different and Pinterest is different, even though it's not social media, but you know what I mean. I do love me some YouTube and some Pinterest, but Instagram, TikTok. I'm just not feeling it at the minute. I'm not on that vibe, and I'm just really enjoying living like a slower, peaceful, not rushed, not comparing lifestyle. It's amazing. One thing that could actually help you quite a lot if you're struggling to slow down is to just stop multitasking and just focus all of your attention on one task at a time. So if you're cooking, putting all your time into that cooking and into that meal and being intentional about it and making it full of all different colours and nutrients and goodness. I used to honestly rush food making so much. I would be thinking, because I have an hour lunch break and I work from home, so I'd be thinking, right, I've got to go downstairs and I've got to cook some food really quick, and then I've got to come back upstairs and I've got to eat it, and by the time I've done that, it will probably be the end of my lunch break and I've had no time to even do anything. And I would look at it from a very stressed perspective, but really it's not that deep. Like, it's actually really nice to make meals for yourself and cook for yourself with intention and really slowing down and being more thoughtful about the things that you're putting into your body, and you'll probably find that you are a lot more healthy. The more I've slowed down with my cooking meals and things like that, I've genuinely started eating healthier because I'm putting my love into the cooking. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm making it a ritual of making food for myself which I can then eat and know it's going to nourish my body and make me feel so good. And that for me is just like, oh, chef's kiss. It's amazing. Like, it's what life is all about, like those little moments. Multitasking is done. Multitasking is over now. I'm over it. I feel like I'm over all my videos. It's just me saying how I'm over things, but I'm over it. We don't need to multitask all the time. We can focus on one thing at a time. Yes, we can, like, if we're cleaning up and we want to listen to a podcast, we can do that. That's fine, but not doing things that are too taxing at the same time, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that was my little ramble. I felt inspired to speak, so I spoke. Thank you for watching again. I hope you found some kind of insight in this video and enjoyed it. And if you did, please subscribe and leave a like and a comment, and let's get chatting down below and start up a conversation about this. Anything you want to speak about, I'm here to listen. I'm all open ears. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.